This lake has needed healing ever since the U.S. government pushed for settling the West. Pyramid Lake began to die at the turn of the century when its only inlet from the Truckee River was sharply reduced. The water intended for this desert oasis was being diverted to build cities for settlers and to make the desert bloom for pioneers who wanted to farm the land. But if some turned their back on Pyramid Lake, the Paiute Indians never did.
We're talking about many thousands of years ago when the Numa, or northern Paiute people, came to the Western Great Basin. This great water mass was there called Lake Lahontan, but the environment was changing. The area was drying out, and they were themselves adapting to this kind of change. When John Charles Fremont comes to the Western Great Basin in January of 1844 and discovers this last remnant of Lake Lahontan, okay, he will call it Pyramid Lake, but the tribes, the northern Paiutes, called it Cui-tickutta. But there was a history and a lore, an oral tradition among the Pyramid Lake Paiutes, and their beginning of Cui-tickutta, Pyramid Lake, goes back to the Stone Mother, and that story begins like this.
What I've been told by my mother and the old folks was that the Stone Mother, she come and sat down there and sent her kids. Kids were fighting all the time.
Children, 2 girls and 2 boys, and they were always fighting, and finally the mother couldn't do anything and the father, so they sent them away, sent 2 up north and 2 south, and they told them when they...
And she never heard from her children. So as she cried and cried, and she was sitting there with her basket beside her, and the lake filled up, and that was her tears that filled the lake up.